This is an exceptional case. The volume that's there is exceptional. I'm Dr. David Santillo, and I'm a senior scientist with the Greenpeace research laboratories. So Japan has argued, and the IAEA has to some extent agreed, that the discharge of these wastewaters would be not materially different from regular discharges from nuclear power plants or from reprocessing plants. And I think that that is something that has to be challenged. This is an exceptional case. The levels of radioactivity, not just of tritium, but of that mixture of other complex and much more long-lived and harmful radioisotopes, is an exceptional issue. The volume that's there is exceptional. This cannot be dealt with just as a routine, we just discharge over time and everyone can look away. This is something that needs a coordinated international effort to find the solution so that we don't need to see this water discharged to the environment as it stands. There's a lot more that can be done. It's important to remember that the radiological impact in the marine environment is something which is very hard to try and determine once you've released something. The oceans are a big place, and tracing pollution, tracing the impact is extremely difficult and sometimes just impossible, even if it is having an impact. So the principle that's been behind international law on protection of the oceans for decades now has been that you should prevent pollution. You shouldn't try and manage it and dilute it and risk it away. You should prevent pollution. And that is something which remains an imperative. If you have the options of keeping wastes out of the marine environment, out of the oceans, that is the imperative. That's what you should do. Some of these radioisotopes that are there in the wastewaters at Fukushima have half-lives not just of many years, but of many thousands of years. So this is an irreversible issue is if we discharge these things into the marine environment. One of the issues that the London Convention and Protocol addresses is the protection of the marine environment from radioactive substances. The IAEA as a body has always viewed the discharge and disposal of radioactive waste from a less precautionary, more risk-based approach, if you like. And for a long time argued, even when the discussions were there on high-level radioactive waste and on intermediate and low-level waste, that there should be a ban, the IAEA was consistently saying this can be managed as a dilution problem. We simply dilute the waste below levels that cause harm. And I think that in that sense, the IAEA was and remains to some degree out of step with the public and with the political view that in fact we should not be using the oceans as a way of disposing of radioactive waste.